I'm DG Ice, and I did really good in the February 3rd daily challenge. And I wanted to break down the techniques I used, and I also needed to study this video for what went right because recently I've been getting walled at around 3,000 to 4,000 uh, trips. I don't know if there have been more major patches, but I used to get 5,000 to 7,000 uh, post patch pretty regularly every third or fourth game. So this is really stuck out to me as I'm just not breaking through. So either some of the more recent techniques that I've been using are limiting me somehow, and that the demand isn't scaling the way I need it to, or maybe there's been another patch or something. So, anyways, let's start talking about the game. This is my favorite spot for the orange building, the orange destination to start. So I got really lucky with that. But then I did not enjoy this red one showing up. I kind of fumbled it, letting it show up there. But as you can see here, we've got a pretty dense configuration of buildings. The orange and the red right there actually aren't too bad. I can get a roundabout near their entrances for both of them, but that third orange destination really kind of stinks because it's blocked by that red house and by the entrance for the other destination. So that's in a bad way. So you can see the upper left of that red destination, I've blocked off a space that's exactly specifically for a roundabout to go there for that orange destination. Because I look at it and I've got three local houses, but I may need to feed houses in uh, from a motorway and mix them in with those local houses if this goes to a circle destination. That dark blue is pretty rough. If this were not a daily challenge, I would have just restarted because there's just no clean separation for that dark blue. Right now, there's plenty of space for a roundabout still, but I mean, I'm even just hoping at this point I will have enough uh, dark blue spawn elsewhere to take care of it. This just isn't clean. Now, what I do have great going on here is the light blue. If you go back, you'll notice that I actually blocked off the light blue until houses started spawning there, so that way no destinations could spawn there. A red destination likes to spawn right in that spot, but without that destination there, this will eventually, inevitably, always fill up with light blue, and it's very good because it's a central light blue, and now it can serve all this side of the map. So it can serve light blues in the center here, and we got very lucky with two light blue destinations in the center here, and hopefully we're going to be routing all this traffic up there. And then light blue destinations also like to spawn in the top right, so this is pretty much the closest you can get a good dense spawn of light blue. So the fact that we've got light blue destinations in the center, that is some good luck for this run. This red destination in the top left is also good. There's pretty much always red spawning in the center left on the left side. So that's good. Plus we've got the nearby houses. In case we want to talk about the weekly upgrades I basically rank the motorway, roundabout, bridge. Now, depending on how many roundabouts and bridges I have, I usually want one spare bridge early, just in case I need to bridge across. But other than that, I will often risk it and just go for the roundabouts because you can almost always pick up extra bridges later. And then obviously motorways. You need them to fix stuff, and there would be a point where I would stop taking motorways, but they're just so, they're just rare enough that it's not worth not taking them. Right now, I've got the reds all connected. Not something I like to do. Uh, just need to, one, maintain paths to all of them so the paths don't get blocked, and two, I need to focus on other things basically. And there's not going to be any problems with demand for some time now, so it's best to just keep the number of trips low, open tickets low, and let them fill themselves while I focus on other things. Okay, so green destination in the bottom right corner is always good because you can always block it so that green spawns down there. Of course, it's very common to have green destination spawn down there. You usually get two if you were to just let destination spawn there. Notice that as soon as the green destination spawned, I put a blocker to save some space for a roundabout. And this roundabout makes sense because the green can spawn below from either the left or the right. And I want to be able to uh, handle it coming from either direction and merge all that traffic together in case this becomes a circle destination. Now you can see I kind of blocking off this area down here. It's because in that bottom right corner on the left side near the river, the orange likes to spawn. And if I can force the orange to spawn farther up, closer to the top right corner where there's a group of like 10 oranges guaranteed to spawn every time, that's going to be huge in terms of saving myself on motorways and roundabouts and just making it more efficient. Okay, so this square orange destination in the center here, this is something I have not seen before. This is not something that I normally have to deal with. You do get orange destinations on this island here, but normally it's like the second orange destination, and they're both in the on the left side this time. So getting a third one in the center was kind of odd to me, but hard to complain when you've got two houses right in front of it. All right, so you can see I just added light blue road right alongside that red destination. See, that red destination blocks out 5 squares of building spawn, so you definitely want to use that as a road because you'll allow more houses to spawn in and eventually meet demand with those houses. Because there's always this balance of the you want to block off space so that you can have routes and stuff, but if you leave too much space, not enough houses spawn to satisfy the demand. And ideally what you want to do is you want to block off them in a way that allows predictable spawns, but obviously that's not always possible. And there are certain points where you have a really strong guess at what is actually going to spawn there, which color is going to spawn there. And there are some points that are just, they're a complete gamble is what it feels like. So a lot of these routes that I've set up so far have been not the end game routes that I would eventually do, but what you can see is that that top left group of reds has started to spawn near the circle destination, and I've already blocked off where I want that roundabout to go because I expect a lot of traffic there. Another interesting thing that I've done is you can see I've got the cross traffic for those dark blues and those yellows, and it's it's quite interesting what I've got going on here. And right now I think I'm trying to figure out how to get the least amount of traffic to cross over and utilize both. So yeah, I'm not super happy about the way the light blues are set up in the middle, but I know that's only temporary. I'm gonna figure something out in the long run. Right now, I see that the far left light blue destination. Oh, I'm definitely gonna try and take care of that with light blues in the region. And now things are spawning in. I'm a little worried that what's gonna fit up there. And basically, we've got 3 rows in between the destinations and the wall. That's great because it means the outermost one, nothing can spawn in. The innermost one, nothing can spawn in either. But that middle lane, at least we're going to get some spawns. And we could even have traffic going in 2 directions. So that could be useful because sometimes you have light oranges that you want to send downwards and light blue that you want to send upwards. So as much as I am a fan of the light blues in the upper corner, I do kind of like that a destination spawns and partially blocks them because having all those cars so far away doesn't really help. So you can see in that top right corner with all the orange houses that I turned them facing down and facing upward to allow more to spawn in. And the way I know which row is correct is that there's that tree in the center there that I just deleted. The trees, of course, are always in the same spot, so I use that one to know which is the upper row. And I do a similar thing at the bottom with the greenhouses, that I will often turn them outwards to allow more greenhouses to spawn behind them. Though it doesn't pay out until later, so you could even turn them inward for a while, then eventually turn them outward. Okay, you'll see I just noticed the light blue houses spawning in at the top there, and I noticed that we got a circle destination in the middle there, so I'm trying to figure out how to reroute that traffic, and I'm hoping that enough light blue will spawn fast enough to take care of that leftmost destination. Now, there is a debate. I should be pointing these inwards so that, and then just angling them up to meet that top route. Right now, it's probably just force of habit because I'm not seeing that. I'm not realizing that, hey, that green destination actually blocks too many spots anyway, so there's not going to be any light blue spawning there. Alright, so I just finished up putting the roundabout on the house side of this motorway, and I don't fully understand it, but from what Retroflux says, you want to group those entrances all to one side, leading up to the motorway, to the exit. And I don't really know which side they should be on, or if it actually matters, because eventually it pays off in the other direction. There's no reason. Traffic goes both ways, right? So there probably is an optimal way, but I figure I just try and do at least one side should be good. Okay, so this third green destination is great, and then it looks like we're getting a pretty dense spawn of dark blues. We'll see how dense it really ends up being, but what I realize is that if I have them coming from both sides, I'm definitely going to want to merge them with a roundabout. Now, I'm not sure that blocking off so much space for a roundabout is a good idea. In fact, because that top right orange group is so dense, I usually just end up using the top lane to drive some light oranges over. So really with these dark blues, one technique might have been to turn them all facing downwards and just see how things spawn. Figure it out from there. But you can see I'm trying to figure out where this dark blue roundabout can be and should be, and I'm realizing that, hey, Uh, it's almost already blocked off. I actually playing dangerously here by not blocking it off um, to save a spot for that. But oh, yep, and I get kind of screwed there. That now there's no space for a roundabout. So right now I'm grabbing this roundabout because I'm like, oh, I know I want it for the reds, but how do I do these dark blues? Well, um, I'll use the small patch uh, for the small group, and I'll use the motorway for the circular destination. I actually think the way I've got the reds right up above there on the right side at the top, I think that's pretty interesting. I've got basically a second row ready to spawn, and I'm blocking it in a way that I think will allow the reds to come in and take a second route and basically merge into that roundabout again. I actually think there's a spot for a light blue right above that angular spot, so I kind of tried to make it in a way that if some light blue get mixed in there, they can spawn out, they can merge out, and maybe we'll see how it happens. Maybe there'll be some cross traffic or something. This is really interesting with the dark blue spawning in on. Oh shoot, I've been mixing up my rights and my lefts. But on the right side now, in the center there, we've got a big patch of dark blue, and you can see I just cleaned it up so to segregate. But that may be it right there. That's something you don't always get, is such a clean patch of dark blue. Plus those dark blue at the top, while they're far apart, they do have a clean line. And yeah, wow, one more comes in. And this is looking very nice, and I go for it, bringing lots of dark blue in. Here at the end here, there's definitely no reason to make a long line along the bottom. It's like, I'm just going to connect this guy in while I still can and while there's still space, because up there anything can spawn. It's a cross section of green and yellow and dark blue, yellow. So I say yellow orange for this color, but I'll try and just refer to it as orange in the future. All right, so here I am finally looking at this mess down here, and I've got that really interesting cross traffic with the dark blue and the orange in the center, on the center river there. There's probably a real world name for that river. Should probably figure that out. But that's a pretty good group of spawns, especially for a tier 1 square destination. And wow, just looking at the dark blue coming off that roundabout and clearing up that high demand circle destination was beautiful. Oh, it looks like we found out what the daily challenge was. It was giving you double traffic lights, because that helps. I mean, it does in a way that you can take even fewer traffic lights. If you take a single traffic light, you should have more than enough for the entire game. I can't imagine ever using more than 4 traffic lights in a game that was going well. Okay, so coming up here, I've got a lot to think about and not a lot that is very clear to me. Light blue destination spawns on the far right, and I've basically already got 2 bridges going down towards that, so I either clear up those bridges so I can bridge directly to it, or, well, technically I could go around the entire outside of the bottom right corner and reach there with a bridge, and redirect some of that green traffic inward. But I think one of my biggest concerns right now is that there's a 4 houses feeding into that circular orange destination in the bottom right. And that just probably won't cut it in the long run. And so I really got to worry about what am I going to do there. Am I going to have a roundabout and be able to use this local traffic? It's great to have traffic so close to it. But then I've also got all these errant little houses like that light blue that just spawned, that house in near the red in the top left. And then I've got that red facing inwards in the center, near the center circular single destination. And it's there's a lot of questions of what to do with these things. Got some great great luck so far in that I haven't had to take any traffic lights because I have too many bridges or anything. I mean, well, maybe I could have at this point. I do have quite a few bridges. But wow, really got some balls of steel here with that light blue destination at the top. Probably just cutting it way too close, to be honest. And in fact, we'll see how the nice part about having such a dense group of spawns is that you can continually turn them around and rearrange them to not only can you add extra houses when you haven't met demand evenly and you need just a short boost to clean things up for a second, and then you can continue to rearrange later. But you can also continually rearrange them between the groups so that way you have clean drives in your end game to figure it out. So wow, that dark blue at the top along the top is just so dense. That is really amazing. And yeah, we probably do have too many, but wow, a clean light green in the center there as well. So okay, I'm starting to see why this game went so good. There's really not too many groups of poorly mixed houses, which, I mean, that's just mostly RNG. Some of that's luck. And wow, all right, so we do get the yellow orange in the center at the top there, and that's a pretty common place for it. So now I got to figure out what to do with that. I had to save Motorway 3 for that light blue one. So I'm pretty concerned with that yellow orange in the bottom left, the circular yellow orange that's only being fed by 4 houses currently. That will need to be helped eventually. Okay, so you can see how the entrance to the yellow is right on top of my roundabout, but I actually am pretty sure that this is fine. I haven't spent hours watching it or anything, but I'm pretty sure if you watch it, the traffic just drives by each other, and that it doesn't really block it up. You do have to be careful that now your cars are linked, so if you can merge, you can allow traffic to cross at certain points, but you have to be careful that you don't allow it again, so that on the other side of this, I don't have a second orange destination or a dark blue destination connected on the other side somewhere, because they will spawn in. So you see, I've turned all the dark blue traffic downwards because the last thing I want is lots of crossover traffic. And you can even see that there is an orange in the center that was getting connected in, and it was taking that route up. So now that I've separated it like this, it should work out fine. So what's really cool there is I've got, in that area that I'm working in currently, I've got it alternating row of roads, row of houses, row of roads, row of houses, and it's loosely structured so that yeah, it does accept that that you can't always have it perfectly lined up. But basically, when you do this, when you do a layered approach like that, it allows for each house has two options. It can either go to the road above it or the road below it. And that means that there may be three colors of houses that are likely to spawn there, but 2/3 of those houses will be usable. So I think that's a really good way to do your roads is every other row in ways that they can turn in either direction. Okay, so that top left red destination is always going to need more cars, and I'm looking at the houses I got super close, and they're traveling super far to this center bottom red destination, and it's just not worth it. So I'm gonna use these reds that have just recently spawned in here and motorway them in, and I think this should be a pretty clean route. And there's plenty of houses there, so especially with a single red destination. And wow, was that good timing, because look at that, another square red destination pops up, and I'm definitely going to need all the houses up there that I can. Now, the great part is I have some very close by, and I can even link them into the other side of the destination, so that way I've got an even number of cars coming in from both entrances, so that they don't all pile up on each other. All right, so we're at well over 3,000 trips now. This is where the scary part begins. The demand should be getting out of hand quite soon. And we've got some really strong ones, some that are probably going to be a problem. Like in that center orange, we've only got two houses, so how do we feed that in the long run? The bottom right orange, we did manage to get a second group in, but they're just doing a normal merge. So they're close enough, but their merging pattern scares me. And then at the bottom there, we just had another green house spawn in, and right now I think we've got enough. We just hope that we don't get outpaced here in terms of how quickly things spawn in. And so, wow, I was really worried about the traffic over here, so I split up the cars, looked for any open cars, and sent them in. That is always a way you can save it, even with a short-term decision. Obviously, I don't plan to keep that motorway there indefinitely. And now that the traffic's died down, I probably won't. Hopefully, we get more red houses that spawn in closer by. Alright, so now I have to decide whether I want a destination in this bottom left corner. And I don't think I do want one. And it's hard to tell what would come next, because we have multiple destinations of everything. We have a second dark blue destination. We have 4 reds. We have 4 blues, and we have 4 oranges. Well, 5 oranges. And then we have 3 greens. So maybe be a green, but I don't really want to have to motorway some greens all the way over there. There's just nothing very close. All the houses that are close are being used up. So at this point, I think I would rather the demand increase on the existing ones. My roads are good enough. And we've had some okay spawns recently. You can see I just placed a traffic light because I've got that cross traffic there, and I should probably be thinking about blocking it off for a roundabout. What's great about passing that this 4,000 mark and getting closer to 5,000 here is that a lot of our end game spawns are finally filling in, and so we've got some nice on color ones recently, and a few off color ones that are a little annoying, but so far things are going pretty good. Okay, here we go. I finally wake up to the fact that the roundabout is not blocked off in the center there for the light blue. And so here we are. I'm fixing up that yellow house, and I'm gonna mark off some area for it. Now, what you need to mark off the spot for a roundabout is you need a cross of spaces to be blocked off, but here I had to block off a few extra spaces just because I didn't want to draw it in. So here I get the roundabout immediately, perfect timing, and rarely have to delete traffic lights. Still not too familiar with that mechanic. I just do not use traffic lights. And you'll see that I did use it there. But anyways. So demand for the reds and the light blues starts going kind of crazy right now. And that double destination, I don't know what the best way to make the entrance is. I suspect that it's only to have not to have the cars right in front of the entrance, but I've got it on both sides, and obviously I'm going to use those. I'm not going to not use those. But so it's definitely hard to balance, and I like that red house that's right in front of the entrance of the double destination on the light blue side on the top there. And I just think the one to the left of it is one that I don't want to have connected there. But those ones solve themselves out. As you can see, it cleared up, and now we've got another motorway. So this game is going great. I got all those light oranges that I'm really not using. So I'm thinking to myself, how do I use these? And probably I'm gonna split them later. So I'm looking at that circular destination on the far side. I'm thinking, well, I could definitely serve this better. And because that is a great roundabout with a group of, wow, how many is that? That is 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 cars, potentially more, 9 houses, potentially more. And right now I'm thinking, okay, well, I can use this motorway and I can separate the dark blue traffic. Allow the dark blues to flow through there, which, the fewer destination ones can definitely become a pressure point later, because the extra demand does not get split between as many buildings. Alright, so as troublesome as it looks, I'm pretty sure that my light blues and my reds are going to figure themselves out. I think the demand just spikes every once in a while and it starts demanding more cars. But those will definitely settle themselves out. You'll notice that temporary motorway number 6 I never got rid of. But it's because if you look at all the red buildings, there's only one circular destination. It uses quite a bit of cars. So my real concern here is that yellow-orange destination on the far left. And you see, I've been wishing for a long time to have a roundabout to put in front of it. But I'm just thinking, okay, well, this group of 9 is really good. It already has its traffic figured out, so it can solve that. And actually, I'm going to end up using this group of 6, 7 cars to serve this, because they're actually just as close. We got the extra motorway to use. And you saw for a minute there, I had them connected all the way through. So this is where I start to make my mistake. I noticed that that center orange yellow is finally becoming a problem. And my mistake is that I already have the dark blues and the yellow oranges connected elsewhere. So now by connecting these extra yellow oranges, sure, they will serve this area, but they will also try and serve the far away one, and we're just gonna have a mess of traffic. And I'm pretty sure there is a way to save them, which is that I turn the yellow houses that are right under the destination, I turn them the other way so they're going in with the light blues, and I just completely give up on the dark blues coming from that right center area, and I just use that for all the yellow oranges in the area. Even turning around some of the houses that are feeding bottom right orange circle destination just temporarily. And then try and replace some of that dark blue with the ones I just connected from the bottom left there. And eventually, hopefully, get like a motorway to connect in, or even use some of those dark blue at the far right top corner, create their own separate little group, and motorway them in, or even find a second exit to connect to the bridge there. But regardless, this run is ending very shortly, so I hope you found some interesting information here. But you're about to see the brutalness that is the next challenge started before I got to see where I ranked on the leaderboard for this daily challenge.